I'm Dr. Lisa Shine, and I'm one of the co-authors along with Michael O'Callaghan, Ger Reilly and Pat Doyle on the new Exploring Science textbook. This is the third edition of what has been a hugely successful textbook for the Junior Cycle Science course over the years. We've updated it now in its third edition to bring it more in line with the Junior Cycle Science learning outcomes and to prepare students for the Junior Cycle exam. This textbook comes as part of a complete package of 4 books: textbook, experiment book, activity book and teacher resource book. And what's really a big plus for this book is the fact that it comes with its own experiment book. So your students have a place to record all of their experiments in a way that they weren't able to with the second edition. So they can keep a record of all of the experimental work that they've done in class. We've really closely followed the learning outcomes in the Junior Cycle Science Learning Outcomes poster. We've listed all of our learning intentions at the start of each chapter so that teachers and students know exactly what they're covering in the book. And when it comes to revising, they know exactly where to go as well. What's new in this textbook is that there's also a chapter summary at the end of each chapter. So again, when students are revising, the work is condensed into a summary at the end of each chapter. There's lots of other features throughout the chapters. We've got YouTube links to engage students. We've got little did you know boxes with interesting facts, again, to keep students engaged. We've got chances for pair work and group work. And we've really simplified the language, and we've included lots of bullet points to make this book more accessible to all of the students in your classroom. Our book supports the Junior Cycle Science specification very well. It's very closely aligned to the Junior Cycle Science learning outcomes. The book is divided into 5 parts which match exactly the 5 main strands on the Junior Cycle Science course. We've got a section at the start on nature of science where students can develop their scientific skills. We've got a chemical world, we've got a biological world section, we've got physical world, and we've got an earth and space science section. And these really support students in the learning outcomes and in the experimental work that they do alongside this as well. A big thing with this book and what makes it really unique is the fact that we've got videos for the Junior Cycle Science experiments. That's not something that other packages have. It's something that science teachers find really useful, especially now that the additional assessment components have come into Leaving Cert. Teachers are finding pressure on lab space. They're not getting into the lab with their students. So we have videos of all of the experimental work so that if you're not getting into the lab to do the experiments with your class, you can still show it to them through the vast array of videos that we have online. Our student activity book has been updated to really accurately reflect what has been asked in the state exams in recent years. So when students open up the student activity book, they'll see a layout that is very close to what they're going to see when they open up their exam paper. And there's a huge emphasis now in the exams on graphing and data analysis. And all of the chapters that we have in our student activity book give the students loads of opportunity for practicing graphing, for practicing analysing data, which it really has been emphasised in the exams over the last few years. Digital resources are really important in the classroom these days. We've got a wide array of resources. We have an ebook where you can access the entire package online. Alongside that, we've got animated animations and little videos which bring scientists and concepts to light. We've got a huge bank of videos of experiments which really make our product quite unique. It's not something that other products have, and it's something that's really useful in the classroom to teachers. We also have interactive quizzes. These are great for homework tasks and things that you can set your students to work on at home. We have a teacher resource book alongside our package, which is really useful for all teachers, but especially for newer teachers. It gives you lots of ideas for other activities that aren't necessarily covered in the textbook. And it gives you all of the answers for all of the questions that are in the textbook as well. It gives you a suggested teaching sequence for all of the material in the Junior Cycle Science course to help you with your planning. And there's lots in there as well to help your students with CBAs and other types of assessment on the course as well. So some feedback that we've received from teachers is that there's a huge emphasis on graphing in the junior cycle science exam, and it's not necessarily reflected in the textbooks that are out there. So in this edition, we've put graphing practice into pretty much every chapter, so that your students, if they're generating data, they're graphing that data and analysing their graph as well, so that when they go into their exam, they're fully comfortable with analysing graphs, understanding what graphs mean, and getting a chance to graph any data that they're presented with in the exam. So we've also put a lot of consideration into helping teachers to plan for teaching junior cycle science. Our chapters in our textbook align very closely with the junior cycle science learning outcomes. So if you go to any learning outcome in junior cycle science, you'll find a chapter in our textbook that lines up pretty much exactly with it. And this will help you when you're planning on teaching the course, because you can see exactly what you're teaching off the learning outcomes poster and tick them off as you go along. So a new feature of this third edition is the addition of the experiment book. This is important as, again, we've had feedback from teachers saying that it's really important to them that students have a place where they can record their experimental work and have it as a revision tool coming up to exams. Our experiment book is different to what the experiment book in the first edition would have been like, for example, in that students aren't just asked to describe an experiment. They're given specific questions on the experiment. They're asked to state the variables, they're asked to state the hypothesis of the experiment. It's not left as open-ended as it previously has been, because in the exam they are asked these specific questions and we want to give them lots of practice with these questions. So our experiment book, the layout of it very closely aligns with the layout of the experiment questions that they get asked in the exam. Again, feedback from teachers tells us that teachers want lots and lots of practice for their students. They don't just want one question on a topic, they want their students to get lots of practice. So at the end of each chapter in our textbook, we actually have the questions divided up into two sections. So we have summary questions, which revise the material that's covered in the chapter. And then what's new to this edition is that there's also past exam questions. So we've taken in questions from the past state exams and right up to the 2025 exam. So your students get a chance to practice the exact questions that have come up over the years at the end of each chapter.